June is Scleroderma Awareness Month. The chronic disease affects about 400 Manitobans and an estimated 2.5 million people worldwide. Here to chat about their experiences with scleroderma and the importance of raising awareness, I'm joined by Joanne Lapointe McKenzie and Marion Pacy. Thank you both so much for joining me.
We really appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much.
Marion, I'll start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about what scleroderma is?
Scleroderma is a form of arthritis. Out of the 119 forms of arthritis, ours is a small one, but it is not well known. But instead of affecting the bones, it affects the tissues and hardens the tissues. We make too much collagen, so it makes the skin harden, and we can have it inside and outside, so internally and externally. And it affects the organs and different things like that.
What has been your experience living with it?
For the first little while, there's a lot of changes that you go through with your face, your hands. Like my hands are no longer straight anymore; they're curled, and so that has led to many different things. Like, and of course, job-wise, I used to be a City Winnipeg bus driver. And so I could no longer work outside with the cold. So when I moved inside, it was great. I actually worked for another 6 years inside. But you have to have the support of different people around you.
And Joanne, what's your experience been like?
Well, for me, I have a lot of trouble eating and I have a lot of trouble with my lungs. I get very short of breath very, very quickly. And if I get going too fast, I actually pass out. When I was newly diagnosed, I really spent about 5 years pretending I didn't have the disease. And then I went to a conference of scleroderma patients. And although I was terrified to go, I was glad I went, and I met some amazing, amazing people. And it was easier then to tell people that I had the disease, that I was struggling with certain symptoms.
Most of the patients with scleroderma, none of them are the same. We all have different symptoms and stuff like that. So that's why when we get together, it's very nice to share things of what works and what doesn't work for certain people, and it helps a lot.
So Joanne, obviously COVID's kind of putting on damper on doing too much this month, but what does the Scleroderma Manitoba have planned to raise awareness?
June is Scleroderma Awareness Month, and so we are spending the entire month, hopefully as a community, walking virtually to Churchill and back. So that's about 2,021 kilometers, and we've invited people to do as much as they can, as often as they can. So they can start walking the 1st of June, and our event ends on June 29th, which is World Scleroderma Day.
How do the funds raised with this event, how does that help?
We do 3 major things with the funds that we raise. The first is that we have been able to use the money to sponsor or fund worthy research projects. The funds also are used to create patient support activities, either support group meetings or education sessions. And we also use that money to create printed materials that can be mailed to new patients who are newly diagnosed, because often when you hear the word scleroderma, you have no idea what that means. And it's a pretty terrifying word. If you go to Google and you look up scleroderma, it's terrifying. And so what we try to do is create some hope for newly diagnosed patients by giving them a package of information that will reassure them that, yes, it's a very serious diagnosis, and yes, it is going to change your life. But Marion is a perfect example. She's lived with scleroderma for how many years? 27?
29 years.
29 years. Yeah, and I've lived with it for 12. But for new people, getting the diagnosis for the first time is really frightening.
When is this walk, and how can people get involved if they wanted to?
They can get involved by going to our website and signing up either as an individual or joining one of the teams. And the walk actually starts the 1st of June and carries on until the 29th.